So welcome, even though it sounds like we're all a little somewhat frantic this evening trying to get here. We have all made it. Well done. So yeah, welcome to our first class for the year. We are going to keep it fairly gentle, as I tend to enjoy teaching. And what our topic is this evening is delight. I've got this lovely mandala yoga kind of deck from a friend, and every now and then I love to just pull a card from it. So I thought, okay, well, what should we do on Thursday in the yoga class? I did a little meditation, and then I pulled up delight, and it says, I take delight in the people, creatures, and events in my world. And I was like, that day I was really not having a good relationship with any people in my life. So I was like, no. And all the events going on in the world right now, a little challenging. I'm delighted with my own magnificence. I was like, well, I'm not feeling too magnificent today, but okay, let's aim towards that. And I danced through life with delight. So I thought, okay, well, this is all sounding a little too pretentious. I'm going to throw this back into the deck, and I'm going to try find, something that's a little easier to work with, like grounding or flow or something like that. So I shuffled them all up, and I was like, okay, another card. And what came up? Delight yet again. So I thought, you know what? There's no getting around it. Clearly, we all have to work towards like a little bit of delight in our lives. And then I was like, well, what does delight actually mean? So then I went and Googled and found the dictionary. And it was just saying that, to please someone greatly. So I was like, that I can work with. To please myself greatly sounds more doable. Or to take great pleasure in. And I thought, okay, well, kind of like in my yoga or at yoga, can I do my yoga with a sense of delight, with a sense of happiness and joy? So I just thought I would share that with you and hope that you'll be able to find some form of delight in your yoga posture. So doing the postures and the movements so that there isn't any pain or discomfort, that you can actually feel a sense of happiness in them and about them. There is so much blah going on in the world right now. To actually just enjoy something, I think, is what we can maybe all bring to our class tonight. So I thought I would throw that in there for everyone tonight. Let the little voice of delight pop into your head every now and then when you're doing your postures, and just do them with a sense of happiness, with joy. The actual yoga that we will be doing, I was thinking again, how or what should we do in the class tonight? And I thought, looking at, an area, a challenging area for a lot of us, and that's often very, very often our backs, but moreover, it's also like a smaller joint in the body, which is our knees. I often think our knees get overlooked, especially in yoga postures. And I was reading a lovely article on the knee joint and literally all the little intricacies in the anatomical aspect of the knee joint and how it functions. And how, if in yoga postures you are finding kind of discomfort or pain in your knees, it's usually got something to do with the quadriceps, the hamstrings, the hips, the ankles. So kind of the bones and the muscles supporting the knee itself. So we will work with a couple of postures to strengthen quadriceps, lengthen the hamstrings, release into the ankles, and hopefully find a sense of ease and delight in working with our knees tonight. Right, so before we get going, any questions, comments, anything anyone needs to bring up? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No. Okay, cool. And I'll Caroline, is that you? Hand up, or are you good? Good. Okay, cool. All right. So then I'll mute everyone who isn't muted, and we will get going. If for whatever reason I disappear because of internet failure or something like that, I have made Colleen co-host. So Colleen, you can then just either unmute yourself or unmute someone else and just get them maybe to carry on teaching a little. But I haven't had any trouble so far, so we should be good to go. Right, here's the door. So starting off, sitting in your most comfortable position this evening. So whatever that may be for you, wherever that may be for you, if that is sitting cross-legged, if that's sitting on your knees, if it's sitting with your legs straight, see what works. And then allow your eyes to close. And allow your buttocks to release back and down into the earth. Feel the support of the ground beneath you. And from that support, allow your spine to grow tall. And as the spine grows tall, imagine all the little cells that are traveling up and down the spine, moving with a sense of ease, with lightness, so they're jumping and bouncing with delight. So you're already sensing a feeling of happiness through the spine. Adapt the position of your legs, your ankles, your feet, so that there is absolutely no tension in your knees. So if you happen to be sitting cross-legged and there's a little twinge in the knee somewhere, just see if it feels more comfortable if you then extend that leg out into a position. And then from there, feel that you're able to relax into the shoulders, into your face. Feel that you can take 3 smooth, deep breaths. Allowing yourself to arrive here in the space and time we're in right now. You can lightly cup your hands over your knees for now. And now imagine taking 3 deep breaths into your knees as you inhale, sending your awareness and your attention down into your knees. And as you exhale, you're releasing that sensation, that feeling, letting go. And 2 more deep breaths down into your knees. And after that last deep breath in and out, fully settled, fully grounded, fully at ease, you can then release your hands, give them a little bit of a shake, and then rub the palms together, bring them together, getting the hands really nice and warm. And then cup the hands over your eyes, take a full deep breath in. And slowly out. And again, bring the palms of the hands together, rub, 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 rub. Cup them over your eyes. You can look into the darkness this time. Feel the warmth from your hands penetrating your eyes, gently energizing them. Blinking your eyes a few times, removing your hands, giving them a shake out. And then if you haven't extended your legs out in front of you yet, you can do so now. You can support yourself with your hands behind you and work into ankle rotation. Circling the ankles, circling the feet in one direction, and then circling them the other way. And point and flex your feet a few times. Noticing how the legs, especially the knees, feel when you point and flex. And then spread the toes and scrunch them up. And spread your toes and scrunch them up. And once more, spreading the toes wide. And release. Let's take the knees out to the sides, taking it into Vajrasana Yoga Class. So let's bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees flap up and down. Or more like the legs flapping up and down. Easing and warming up into the hips. So as we release and warm up into the hips, most of the postures that work with the knees, well, pretty much all postures work with the knees, but when we're talking about the knees and maybe feeling discomfort or strain in the knees, it doesn't necessarily have something so much to do with the knees and the posture, but it's often got to do with the amount of rotation and flexibility in your hips. So when you start working with creating more flexibility in the hips, you'll often find that the knees start to feel more comfortable in the postures. Right, so settling them for the movement, holding on to, placing your hands either onto your knees, your ankles, or you can grasp your feet, whatever works for you this evening. Feel that your spine is long. And if you want to tilt forwards a little, you can. Whatever you're doing, make sure that there's absolutely no discomfort, no twinges in the knee. If there are, you're going to pull back a little and you're just going to breathe into that space. Wherever you feel you need to create length and space. Maybe there's one side that's feeling a little stiffer than the other. So working gently, holding a posture comfortably again so that you can bring that feeling of happiness and pleasure into the posture. Absolutely no discomfort in it. Posture that you could sit in or stay in for a long time. Where is the most pleasurable point where you can hold yourself comfortably for the next little while? And once you've found that point, you can close your eyes and you can again take 3 smooth, deep breaths in and out. Really allowing yourself to relax more deeply into the posture. And then after those 3 smooth breaths, bring your torso back upright and tilt it forward. Bring your knees together, squeeze them in towards you, and then release. Oh, no, please take them out. Please wait. Visitor, no, come to arms. You're wet. All right, let's move into the shoulders. Bring the elbows together and up, and back and down. When you're ready, inhaling, bring the elbows together and up. Exhaling, back and down. Definitely not in the mood for having a wet, smelly dog while I'm doing my yoga tonight. Inhaling, bring the elbows together and up. Exhaling, back, down and around. And then change direction, taking them the other way. There we go. Just making sure that we're working and warming up shoulders, the arms a little. We'll move into the side body in a moment. Releasing, placing your right hand onto the mat beside you, breathing in, bring your left arm up, reach into the fingers. As you exhale, you need to tilt over. Inhaling, bring yourself back to the center and twice more to that side. Exhaling over. Feel that you can ground down through that left sitting bone. Inhaling up. And again, exhaling over. Stay here, hold it and reach into it. Feel that you can kind of gently ease down into that left knee, ease down into that left hip and buttock, and lengthen up and through. So there's a lovely stretch moving all the way down through kind of the left side of the torso, the body. Inhaling back up to the center, exhale, release. Same thing, other side, breathing in, reaching that right arm up, and exhale, take it over. Inhaling back to the center, exhaling over. last time exhaling over again. Stay here, hold it, make sure the neck is comfortable. You start through the right buttock and lengthen. And feel as if you can lengthen that right knee away from lengthening and reaching the arm up and over. Comfortably take the shoulders away from your ears. Breathe. Yes, 3 smooth, slow breath. So it shouldn't be a strain to hold the posture here. There should be a sense of comfort. So for some of us, that might mean that we need to back off on our postures a little this evening and not strain or work as hard as we often do. And then on an inhalation, bring yourself up. Exhale, release. And circle the shoulders. Drawing your chin, release the shoulders, draw the chin down to the chest. And on an inhalation, draw it across your right collarbone to the right. Raise the head a little as if you're looking over your right shoulder. And then as you exhale, draw it all the way back down along the collarbone to the center. And then along your left collarbone, up over that left shoulder. And exhaling again, draw it along the collarbone to the center. And keep going. Trying to do about 2 more to each side. And noticing if that neck is soft and smooth this evening, or maybe there are a few little cracks and creaks setting in. Again, absolutely no rush to complete. When you have end in the center, let the head rest there for a moment, soften into the shoulders. And then on an inhalation, bring your head back. Shrug the shoulders up to your ears and release. Shrug them up to your ears and release. Super. Let's move straight onto all fours for Vajrasana, our cat stretch. Again, if you need a little bit of support under your knees, or you're working on a very hard surface, just slip a towel or a blanket underneath them. Have the knees underneath the hips, hip width apart. Have your shins straight back. And really feel that you're able to press down through the top of your feet and down into your ankles. So we're activating the lower legs this evening. Nice and stable. Watch that you've got a 90-degree angle here with the knees this evening. And then move into your Vajrasana, your cat stretch, at your own pace, to your rhythm. So we all know the posture, exhaling as we round the spine and inhaling as we soften the abdomen. Maybe just gently lifting the head, opening up. So exhaling as we round and inhaling as we hollow. Can you keep your lower body nice and stable this evening? Can you stabilize down through the shin? Can you activate and engage your thigh muscles so you keep drawing the thigh bones upwards? So there's kind of like a downward pressure into the earth and an upward lengthening through the leg bones, the upper leg. Once more. And release. To release this evening, let's see how it goes. How we feel to start off with. Bring the knees together, bring the feet together if you can. And if it's available to you, see if you can sit back onto your heels. If not, if you cannot find a sense of delight or somewhat pleasure in this posture, please either roll a folded up blanket, place it between your knees, your calves and your hamstrings. If you need to be right up on your thighs this evening, that's absolutely fine. I mean, on your shins, lengthening. If you feel that you want to just take yourself back a little, you can do so. If it's available for you, you come right back. And for some, this posture is absolutely lovely and comfortable. and there's no strain on the knees whatsoever. And for others, there might be a little bit of a twinge. And that will already give you a bit of an idea as to if the feet or the ankles are tight, if maybe the quadriceps are a little tight, or if you need to release back through the hamstrings. So it's a good kind of position just to test and to see how you feel. And then from here, we are going to release. So come off the knees, give the feet a little bit of a shake. And then from there, we're going to actually come right down onto our abdomen this evening. Slip the hands under your forehead. And again, as usual, take 3 deep breaths into your belly. Getting the body used to being prone on the mat in this position. And now that the body is settled and comfortable here, you're going to bend your right knee, sweep your right arm behind you, and see if you can grab hold of the foot. If not, just grab hold of a sock, or you can use a strap or something to hook around your foot. And we're going to ease the heel in the direction of the buttocks. And that's all we're doing here for now. You might notice that there's a little bit of a sense of tightness or a stretch through the front of that quadricep, and breathe into the front of your leg. That's it. Try not to allow the knee to flare too far out to the side. Try and keep the knee in line with the hip. Even if it means that your foot has to be further away from your buttocks. If you are feeling comfortable here and you'd like to go a little bit deeper, think of pressing the pubic bone down towards the mat. So you've got a little bit of a tilt happening. And then think of extending your kneecap towards the wall behind you. So it's as if you're lengthening through that thigh a little bit more. And just those two kind of minuscule movements, pressing the pelvis down into the mat and thinking of the knee extending further away from you, creates more length through the front of that thigh. And we breathe into it here. Feeling a sense of pleasure and joy in the posture. And if you do, and it starts to release and ease, and you kind of bring that heel closer and closer towards you. And then when you're ready to release it. Notice how your right leg feels compared to the left. Just observe it. Right, I'm just keeping my head up to talk so that you can hear me and I don't get muffled into the ground. When you're ready, you're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So you're going to bend your left knee. You can sweep your left arm behind you and you can grab hold of that foot or the ankle. If you don't have the mobility in your shoulder or the leg yet to grab hold of your foot, use a strap, or it's absolutely fine for your foot to also be up in the air. It really doesn't matter. Feel that you can lengthen through that thigh, and to do that you're pressing the pelvis down into the mat. So it feels as if you're pressing your pubic bone down into the ground. So there's a little bit of a tilt happening in the pelvis. You'll notice what happens as soon as you do that. And then think of extending the kneecap further and further away from you. You can keep your head resting on your forearm. Allow the neck in your head to be completely relaxed. Also the shoulders not doing too much. It's just kind of being used to hold the foot in place. So there shouldn't be strain in the shoulder. Lengthening through the quadriceps. And then when you're ready to release your hand, release that leg. Nice. And then from the inhale, scoop up into a bit of a cobra. Exhale, take yourself back into a child's pose or a frog whichever works. Lengthening through. And then from here, we're going to be moving into warming up those hamstrings. So to do that, we will take it into our downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. As we inhale, we'll lift ourselves up, adjust the legs so that they're even, tuck under your toes. And as you exhale, pushing out and back into your downward dog. Now, if you're like me and you've had a bit more of a holiday than you maybe were meant to, you can start off by really cycling those legs quite nicely. So you're bending one knee and straightening the other, and then changing over and enjoying that stretch through the calves, through the back of the knees, up through the back of the legs. Keep lifting the buttocks, keep drawing the navel kind of towards the spine, grounding down through the hands, pressing down into the earth. If at any stage it gets too much, you come down into your knees, you take a break, a breather, finding that little reprieve, and then if you need to, when you really gain, taking yourself back up and continuing. If you feel that you just like to hold the posture for a little while, statically staying in that position. With your downward dog, feel that you can gently rotate the arms, shoulders kind of outwards. Release the head and the neck. Allow the buttocks to lift up towards the sky, lengthening through the spine. The knees can be as bent as they need to so that you can keep the integrity of the spine, the length of the spine. And then once you've got the integrity of the spine, you can then allow the heels to ease in the direction of the mat. You don't have to touch the mat. You're just going backwards. And then when you're ready, you can walk your feet in a little towards your hands or your hands to your feet. And rest in a nice floppy forward bend. Bending the knees quite a bit. Allow the abdomen to rest on the thighs. Allow the head to hang. And saying good evening. Hello to the back of the legs, the hamstrings, giving them a rub. And then when you're ready, slowly uncurl. Bringing the neck and head up last. And if you need to, circling the shoulders. Circling them the other way. Good. Right. Let's bring the legs and knees together. Place the hands onto your knees. Circle the knees around in one direction. See how happy or unhappy they are to do this movement. Circling them the other way. Give them a little bit of a tap. A combination of working through the front of the legs and the back of the legs. We're going to take it into Utkatasana and Uttanasana. So our squat and our forward bend. So I'll take a side-on version for you. Keeping the feet about hip width apart so that that's nice and comfortable, stable for you. Rolling down through the feet, spread through the toes. When you're ready, on your inhalation, reaching the arms up, lengthening through into the fingers. As you exhale, extend forwards. Out of Uttanasana, moving through half a forward bend, and then release all the way down. Bend your knees a little. Get the fingers to touch the mat, release the neck and the head down. Dropping the buttocks down, lift the chest. Feel that there's strength in your legs, in your thighs. Once you've got the strength in the legs and the thighs, push down through the feet. Come all the way up. And exhale, release. Right, 5 more of those. So breathing in, reaching the arms up. Exhale, extending forwards and down. Nice long spine, extending, bend the knees as much as you need to release the neck and the head. Dropping the buttocks down, reaching the arms forwards and up, coming all the way up. Exhale, release the arms out to the sides and down. Keep moving to the rhythm of your breath. Again, we all know the postures, allow the movement, the sequence, to be done with a sense of ease and comfort. So again, no strain. When you're working into the squat as deeply as you're ready for. 3 more smooth, slow round. So again, strengthening the quadriceps, the thighs, really helps to kind of protect the knees. The same goes with lengthening through the hamstrings. And we're going to do one last round after this last one. And this time when you come down into your Uttanasana, into your forward bend, stay there, hold it, and relax into it. Place your hands, your fingers wherever you feel comfortable. So you can have them alongside your toes. If that's not comfortable for your shoulders this evening, bring them forwards a little. Relax the head and the neck. Feel that you can really activate into the feet. So you're spreading your toes, you're lifting your insteps, and you're pressing down through the center of your heels. Notice where the weight is on your feet. If it's on the balls of your feet, if it's on the heels of your feet, or if it's on the center. And try to adjust so that the weight is through the center of your feet. And then even though the knees are bent, feel that you can start to lift your sitting bones up towards the ceiling. Allow the chest to release in the direction of the thighs. Relax the head and the neck. And now you should really be able to feel it nicely into the fleshy part of your hamstrings. 3 deep breaths into that space. 3 deep breaths, breathing in with pleasure, with delight. And then after those 3 breaths, we're going to take it into our squat. So if your knees are happy with it, you're going to drop the buttocks back and down a little bit more. You're going to extend the arms forwards, you're going to lift the chest. This is if you're holding a chair posture. And then we're going to come up just a little. We hold it for a breath. We come up a little bit more. We hold it for a breath. A little bit more. A little bit more. And then all the way up. And exhale, release. Bring the hands into your hips. Breathe in. And as you exhale, imagine sliding down a wall, bending the knees. And going into your full squat. So it might just be a very little movement where the knees bend just a little. Or you might feel that you're able to go a little bit quite far kind of down this evening. See what works for you. Stay in the posture and start to feel the quadriceps now saying good evening. Feeling that there's a little bit of activation happening in there. Remember, if it gets too much, you straighten your legs, you take a breath or two, you come back into it when you're ready. How long can you hold your posture? And stay in a sense of pleasure, in a sense of delight. Press down through your feet when you're ready, and as you inhale, straighten your legs. And give them a little bit of a shake. Super. Right, shaking out those legs. If you need to move and wiggle a little, going ahead and doing that. And then from there, we're going to take it into a release through the quadriceps, a variation of the dancer. Let's ground down through the right foot. As you ground down through that right foot, activate through the sole of the foot, the ankle. Soften the knee just a little and draw the thigh bone up. Feel that you can balance on that leg. And then for this evening, you're going to grab hold of that left foot and you're going to ease the heel towards the buttock. So what we're wanting to do is we're going to try and work the knees together, the heel towards the buttock, and then feel that you can just gently tuck the tailbone under somewhat. And enjoying the stretch through that leg, through that left thigh. 3 smooth, comfortable breaths here. And trying to keep your balance and focusing on one point in front of you. And releasing. Okay. Give that leg a little bit of a shake. And we're just observing how that left leg feels compared to the right. Noticing the sensation. So there might be more of a sense of aliveness, or more of a sense of warmth, or energy. And then when you're ready, you're going to ground down through that left leg. Activate into the ankle. Soften the knee a little, draw the thigh bone up. Feel that that leg is strong, so that your right leg can be free now. Bending the knee, grab hold of your foot. So when you grab hold of that right foot, feel that you can draw your knee back and in line with the opposite knee, with your left knee. Work the heel towards the buttocks. It doesn't have to touch the buttocks. So even if you're far back or if you're using a strap, whatever it may be, just feel that you're working the heel in the direction of the buttock. And just watch that the knee doesn't flare up to the side, so that you don't have an angled position here that you're working into a knee flexion point. You're going to try and get that thigh bone straight, the knee in alignment, and then from there, working into a deeper flexion with that knee. So that there's nothing out of kind of kilt. And if you need to hold on to a wall to find your balance, it's even absolutely fine. 3 smooth, deep breaths into that right thigh. Feel that you can just gently tuck under the tailbone. And just that slight movement of drawing the tailbone under will really give just a gentle, deeper activation into that upper leg. Make sure that there's no discomfort in the knee. If there is, you need to release some part of the body. So it might be releasing the tilt a little, it might be releasing the clasp, or taking it into a less flexed position. After your 3 breaths, again, releasing and shaking out the legs. Super duper. And then from here, we're going to come back down onto our mats. So if you are able to go down through Malasana, the garlands pose, you can do so. If that is sounding somewhat challenging tonight, then you're just going to come down into a little squat and roll back. So if you're happy into a garlands pose, the feet come out to the sides a little, bending the knees, and you're just going to keep sliding down, sliding down, sliding down, and squatting. When you've been doing a lot of traveling along the side of the road and having to squat behind bushes, you get very, very comfortable and used to this posture very quickly. It's probably the only posture that has been happening over the holidays for me regularly. All right, when you're ready, bring yourself all the way down to the mat. Shake out those legs. The joys of traveling through the middle of Africa. And then from here, straightening out into Dandasana in your staff pose. Again, if you need to use a support underneath your buttocks, please place one there. Otherwise, you can always just grab the flesh out. Pressing down through the legs, into the heels, into the balls of the feet, lengthening the spine. All right. So if you find that your spine is rounding and arching, Then see if by bending your knees, you can get more length through the spine. We're going to keep the integrity of the spine. Once you've got that, then we're going to start working into the legs. There we go. And it'll happen with time. You get easier and easier each time you work with it. Again, close the eyes, settle here comfortably. And see if you can take 3 smooth breaths. Allow the thoughts to settle. And then release. From here, we're going to keep the legs active in this position. You're going to place the hands in line with your knees. I'm going to move my hands so that you can see what's going to happen. All we're doing is that there's going to be a small activation. You're going to activate your right leg. You're going to think of drawing the kneecap towards your hip. So it's as if you're engaging your thighs. It's as if you're trying to shorten this leg in, and then you're going to lift it up off the mat a few centimeters. And you should feel that it is quite hard work. And then you release it back down. And then you do the same thing on the other side. You're going to shorten the left leg. Feel as if you're drawing it into your hip. And then lift it off the mat. Just literally a few centimeters. And then back down. So what you probably might have noticed with me is that as soon as I've done that, my back is round. So what you want to try and do is try and stay tall. Shorten the right leg so you can keep the length of the spine. And activate and allow it to lift. And then release. Left leg shorten and lift. And release. Once more, right leg shorten, lift, and release. Left leg shorten, lift, and release. Shake out the legs. Moving back. I hope you're able to hear this rain that's coming now. If not, then someone can just unmute themselves, let me know, and then I'll come and speak closer to the screen. All right. Bring the soles of the feet back into your Vajrasana, your cobbler pose. Just getting yourself comfortable. Sitting nice and tall, close your eyes, lengthen through the spine. Notice how the hips feel, the knees feel, and then gently tilting forwards. Smooth, slow, steady breaths. Again, find that point of comfort where you could stay forever and just settle into it. Let your hands rest wherever you feel comfortable this evening. Absolutely no force, no strain. A sense of delight. Delight in the inner thighs, delight in the hips, delight in the knees. You're only going as far as your body is comfortable with, backing out of it at any point in time. And when you're ready, coming back up. Keeping your right leg in towards you. For now, we are going to slide that left leg across. We're going to flex that left foot. Right. And just notice how this left hip feels, how this knee feels. So we're going to try and bring that foot forwards and lift up. So it's as if you're trying to create a 90-degree here. Actually, that doesn't look quite right on the screen. But my ankle and my knee are in line, and then my knee is moving towards my hip. And then you're just going to rock forwards a little to a point of comfort and back again. So for some, it might be just a very small tilt forwards and back. And for others, you might be able to get your chest right down to the mat and come back up. Just noticing. Forwards. And back. Inhale, let's take it out. Okay. And then we do the same thing on the other side. So you can stretch that left leg out. We're going to bring that right knee forwards and up. And you can bring the left leg back again. Slide that leg across a little. So the ankle is in line with the knee. Moving towards the hip. Now for me, this is always my challenging side. So there'll be just a very slight movement happening back and forth. But for you, you might be able to bring your chest right down towards the mat. As long as we can keep the chest lifted, the spine long, that's all we're looking for. And just a little bit of movement and release to the space. So now, if you are one of those who has really stiff hips and you feel that moving dynamically and releasing in this way is really beneficial and helpful, you're going to do this set one more time, both on the right side and on the left side, or the left side and the right side. If you're one of those who are quite comfortable with this position and you already know what is going to be coming next, then you can prepare yourself to go into Swastikasana, the fire rock. That may mean for you this evening, it may mean drawing this foot back. We'll stay on the side we're at, just because we're here. We're going to draw that leg in a little. For me, this means it has to come in quite a bit. And the other one, the left leg now is going to come on top. You've got a little nobule here on your ankle, and that kind of fits into this little nobule area on the side of your knee. And then you're going to try and relax into your hip. And you need to relax into the knee. There should be absolutely no strain, no discomfort in your knees whatsoever. You might be able to feel a nice opening and release in the hips, but there should be not a single tweak in your knee. If there is, you need to adjust your posture in whichever way you need to release. It might mean bringing this bottom foot further in towards you. It might mean taking this or holding the foot out to the side. Just see how you need to adapt and work with it. So for me, it's always helpful to sit on a support as well. Remember, for those of you who are very comfortable and flexible here, you're welcome to bring the torso forwards and to fold forwards. Good. Right. So if you were working dynamically on the one side, you're going to change over and move dynamically on the other side. So it's my electricity gone. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you should still be able to hear me. You just won't be able to see me. So let's see if we can do this via just talking. We are going to take the left foot now underneath, and you're going to take your right foot on top. And you're going to ease into that posture.